frame. So today's class is wireframing. Where is it? It's wireframing and low fidelity prototyping. So basically, like I said yesterday, we've literally left UX and now we are going to UI. So we've started the design part of it. We are starting the design part of it today, and by next week we'll be going into it fully. So today's topic is wireframing and low fidelity prototype. Um, so let's go straight to it, not to waste so much of our time. So what is a wireframe? A wireframe is basically a blueprint. It serves as a skeletal framework of a product's interface. It strips away all visual distractions to focus purely on the functional layouts and user interaction. So when we talk about wireframing, basically what we mean is you trying to design your website or your app or your digital product, but you are trying to like make a skeletal version of it. Let's take for example the human body. The human body is basically made up of skin, colors, that is our skin, I mean, and different melanin toning, the eyes, the nose, and everything. But if you take away all of that, you see the skeleton, the skeletal parts. First of all, it's just like a bony framework showing you where this is and where that is. So basically, in design, that's what we mean by a wireframe. It's just like a blueprint, like a skeleton of your design. So every wireframing is done when you don't know where to start from. Probably you've mapped out your site map, you've mapped out your information architecture, you know the things that you want to include on your app or how you want your users to flow. Remember how we talked about navigation and um, user flow, how your users flow through your app yesterday. So you've mapped out all of that and now you want to start designing, but you don't even know where to start from. You've not picked a color yet, you don't have a font style yet, you don't have a typography or a type skill, you don't have anything yet, you just want to start. You can start with a wireframe, and that is exactly what it is. It is like a skeletal framework. It's like a skeleton of your design. So a wireframing strips away all visual distractions. When we say visual distractions, we mean icons, images, illustrations, colors, all those distractions, all those visual stuff. It strips away all of them and just focuses purely on the layout. That is, how is it going to be arranged? Where is the search button going to be? Where are the nav bars going to be? Where are they going to? Because now you've started designing, but now you don't want to add colors, you don't want to add icons yet. So you just want to start with a skeleton. That is exactly what a wireframe is. So a wireframe focuses on core elements. Its primary purpose is to define the layouts, the structure, and the hierarchical flow of content. Think of it as an architectural drawing for your digital product. So yesterday we talked about information architecture and how you can map out your site map, like how you want your users to flow through your site. So now once you've done all of that, you already know the core things that you need. You already know the core pages that you want to build. So now in building that page, you are you are trying to now build that page, right? But now you're building that page without the colors, without the icons. You just want to define a layout. You want to know the structure. You want to know where this is going to be, where that is going to be. So every wireframe focuses on the core elements alone. Icons, colors, all of that, they are just extras to make your design look good and make it look presentable. But wireframing focuses on functionality. How would it work? How are the icons going to be? Sorry, not icons, and maybe icons. Maybe you can bring them in later. How are things going to be arranged on the site, on the page? So we'll explore all of that. And also, wireframes intentionally exclude detailed design elements such as colors, typography, imagery, or branding. So we've talked about this before. There's in your while building your wireframe, forget about the aesthetics, forget about the things that makes your design beautiful. Just focus on making it functional. And things like colors, typography, imagery, boundary, all of the branding, all of these things are to be um looked over in the initial phase of this design, that is the wireframe stage. So this prevents early stage discussions from getting sidetracked by aesthetic. Just like I said, that is this early stage decisions, this early stage functionality, you're trying to make it functional. So by removing all these extras, you are preventing it from getting sidetracked by aesthetics. Then it also acts as a vital bridge, translating abstract ideas and functional requirements understood and discussed, but it bridges the gap of communication. It just serves like a bridge so that people can, everyone on your team can visually see and understand what is going on. So why are wireframes indispensable? Why do we need wireframes in design? Before you start designing, why do you need to consider building a wireframe? First of all, rapid idea exploration. Wireframes offer a quick and inexpensive method to conceptualize and explore various design solutions. This flexibility encourages experimentation without significant investment. So there is something called like an idea burst in design, where you just start getting ideas. Ideas just start coming in. So when you do wireframes before you start your main design, it could actually help this stage, because you could explore different methods. You could explore different solutions to one problem, and it could just help you to find the best method. So it just helps in experimentation. It helps you to experiment. So rather than going straight to the design, to start designing, to start adding colors and all of that, it gives you this room for experimentation. So you try out different things and pick out which one works for you best. Then it also fosters early iteration. By focusing on structure, wireframes allow for numerous design iterations early in the process. This helps refine the user experience before committing to high fidelity visual design, saving time and resources. So wireframings also help you to focus on structure, focus on functionality. So instead of, rather than doing the design and you finish the design, and when you're now done with the design, you now discover that okay, this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong. It helps you to discover all of these things at the initial stage. So you could also iterate initially before you even go deep into the design. Then it prioritizes usability. They guide teams to concentrate on fundamental usability and functionality, ensuring that the product is intuitive and effective for the end users. So just like I said, when you do wireframing, at this point in time, you are focusing on functionality, not really aesthetic. You're not trying to make the website or the app beautiful at this point in time. You're just trying to make it functional. So it just helps you to prioritize usability. Then it ensures stakeholder alignment at all points in time during your design process. You want your stakeholders to be aligned with what you're doing. You want them to know what you're doing. So it serves as like a common visual language. It helps you to align your stakeholders, your product designers, your developers, your team basically, and to help to minimize misunderstandings during the project, because everybody can see what it's just like a visual aid. Everybody sees what is going on. So the power of paper wireframes. So there is something called paper wireframes, where you just get a paper and a pen and you sketch it on paper. You just start to sketch. Okay, this is the screen. Like take for example our food delivery app. We want to design the homepage. So you pick up a paper and you first of all draw like a rectangle, because I mean our phones are shaped like a rectangle. So you draw it and then you start arranging things. Okay, you want our users need to be able to search for food, and maybe we want them to search for this food on the homepage. So you just use your pen and paper. You use your pen and you draw a search bar. We all know what a search bar looks like now. We are familiar with digital products. Then maybe you want to do the navigation. Remember yesterday we talked about the global navigation and conceptual navigation. Global navigation, those things that you want your users to see on every page that they are on. So you could just do like a nav bar below the rectangle that's showing that maybe what were the navigations we even did yesterday? I think we did home page, we did order, we did tracking, then I think we did profile or setting, something like that. So you just use your paper. There's an image here. It's just like you using your pen to like draw your phone on paper, just like sketch it and like draw like a skeleton of what it's going to look like. Remember, you're not trying to add images, you're not trying to add icons, you're not trying to add colors at this stage. You're just trying to make it functional, you're just trying to arrange it. That is why we said it's a layout. So paper wireframes are the rawest and often most effective way to kickstart the design process. They remove the barrier of digital tools, allowing for inhibited creativity and rapid ideation. So one thing about paper wireframe is that it is basically you sketching. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is your rough work. This is for you as a designer. Nobody is going to see it. This is just going to aid you to make things functional. So basically it helps you to get ideas. It helps you to explore your creativity because you're just trying to sketch. You're not limited to anything. You're not even using digital tools. You're not using your laptop. You're not using your desktop at this point in time. All you're doing is paper and pen. Although people have started doing paper wireframes with their digital products. These days, you see this pen. What do they call it? There's this pen that they sell and this trackpad. So what you do is you are drawing it on the trackpad and it is showing on your system. I don't know if anybody can picture what I'm talking about, but it's like an iPad, like a tablet. Then it comes with a pen. So once you draw your sketch on the iPad, it will be visualizing on your system. So it's just like you are drawing on paper and you are seeing it on your system. Technology has really advanced, has gone far, but you can still do this conventional paper and pen method because it is actually very, very good when you want to explore your creativity. So they are the fastest method to translate abstract thoughts into tangible visual representations, enabling designers to quickly sketch out multiple concepts. That's one importance of paper wireframe. You can sketch out multiple concepts. You can do one homepage that the search bar is at the top. You can do another homepage that the search bar is at the bottom. You can do another homepage, the search bar is by the side. All of this just to explore the best. At the end of the day, you can pick or you can decide to work with all. Maybe find a way to like gather everything and make it one beautiful thing or pick the best one. So that's one good thing about paper wireframes. I hope this okay. Then secondly, facilitates collaboration. It is ideal for brainstorming sessions and group activities. It encourages interactive decisions, discussions, and immediate feedback from the team members and stakeholders. This is when you want to maybe share it with people. But sometimes people don't really share their paper wireframes because it's just you as a designer to your paper. You are just basically exploring your ideas. But at the end of the day, when you finally explored, you can just like draft a clean sheet of it. So you can just share to people and brainstorm, come up with more ideas. So your stakeholders, your team members will see what you're doing. Then it embraces imperfection. The low commitment nature of paper makes it easy to discard and withdraw ideas. This freedom encourages designers to explore unconventional solutions without fear of wasting effort. So rather than you carrying your system and your mouse and your tools and you start designing online, start designing everything, paper wireframe, if you make a mistake, you can just tear that paper, carry another paper, start sketching again. It makes it easy for you to discard and withdraw. Okay, this idea is not working, tear it off, throw it away, pick up another paper, start again. This just makes you to explore without fear of wasted efforts. Imagine you pick up your Figma and you just start designing, and then at the end of the day, you discover that this idea didn't really work. So you have to restart again from beginning, and it could be a lot of work. So paper wireframe just takes away all of that, and it helps you to embrace your imperfection. Okay, this idea did not work. You discard it, you pick up another paper, start again, and it's very easy because you're using paper. So essential tools for paper wireframe. All you basically need is a pen, some paper, and maybe sticky notes for adding maybe quick annotations or alternative ideas. Just keep it focused, keep it simple, and focus on the flow. Basically, paper wireframe, you need a paper and a pen. So let's go to the next type of wireframing. We have digital wireframes. So once you have like solidified your idea, you now know what you want to do, you now have it on paper, you have like a rough sketch of your app or your homepage or whatever it is you want to design on paper, you can now transition to digital wireframes. We have different tools that we use for digital wireframes, but I love to use Figma. Most people love to use Figma, but we also have tools for wireframing out there. I think Miro is one of them. You could just explore them maybe later on. I listed them in the previous slide, tools for wireframing, so you could check that and explore others if you want to. But I would show us how to do wireframing with Figma at the end of this class. So it offers enhanced precision, shareability, and a more structured approach to design. So why do we do digital wireframing? First of all, we have enhanced clarity and shareability. Figma allows you to share your designs. You remember that whole collaboration stuff? Figma is like the king in the whole game of collaboration and all. Figma is like top, yeah, boss there. Because Figma ensures collaboration, so everybody can actually see what you're doing. That's one thing about using Figma wireframing. You can share it, and it has this clean UI. It just has this clean interface that everybody can just see and understand what is going on. Then we have stimulated user flows. One thing about Figma is that you can actually link screens to one another. About prototyping, when you are linking one screen to the other, linking one screen to the other. So you can also do this with this in this method. Basically, the screens don't have colors yet, they don't have icons yet, but at the end of the day, they are still screens. So you can still link them to the other, so people can see how the app is flowing or how the site is being mapped, how users will flow through the app. Then we also have efficiency through usability. Figma has, although you will learn this later in the class, but Figma has a way where you can build components, do auto layer, do there's a way Figma works, that things that you need to use and reuse in that design product, you can do it once, and once you've done it once, you don't need to do it again. Anytime you need it during that design phase, you could always go back to it and just pick it up. So you don't need to design multiple things different times. Once you've done it once, you could always pick it up and use it again. So that's one good thing about Figma. So key tools for wireframing: leverage basic shapes, frames, auto layout for responsive design, and explore dedicated wireframe kits to streamline your digital wireframing processes. So later on, you will learn how to. For today, we'll be using shapes, but later on, maybe the tutor that comes after me would go through auto layout. Auto layout is a game changer for design. It helps you design faster and swifter. So let's quickly go to the power of low fidelity prototyping. Low fidelity prototyping elevates wireframes beyond static screens, transforming them into interactive experiences that allows for early validation of user flow and interaction. So first of all, it helps you to connect the dots. So you are like linking different screen and connecting the dots, showing people how they would move through the app. If they click on the home page, it will take them to this. If they click on the sign up button, it will take them to this. If they click on the search bar, it will take them to this. All of that, it will just help you to provide a sequence at which your user will move through the product. Then interaction without visuals. It focuses solely on demonstrating navigation and basic interaction, deliberately omitting any detailed UI elements to maintain focus on functionality and user experience pathway. Remember, I said when we are doing wireframing is basically done so that you would be able to see how functional that design is going to be. You are not really adding any colors, you're not really adding any aesthetics, you're just trying to make it functional at this point in time. You want this app to work, you want to see how people would flow through this app. Would this page take them to that page? Would that page take them to this page? So at the end of the day, you could always come back and start adding your colors and all of that, but the basic thing is that you've made it work even before you made it fine. Because at the end of the day, we want our app to have both that user experience and that user interface. You want people to love your app, to love the interface of it, make it, maybe it's fine or it's captivating or appealing to the eyes and all. And you also want it to work well. You want your users to enjoy their experience on it. So low fidelity prototyping is done basically to ensure that functionality part is not overlooked. Then early user journey testing. By creating interactive prototypes, teams can effectively test and validate critical user journeys and task flows much early in the design cycle, identifying friction points before the visual design begins. So by doing all this um low fidelity prototyping, you could just revalidate, you could also test early enough in your design before going deep into the design, because you've not really started adding images, you've not added illustrations, you've not added anything that will really make that site fine. You just want it to be functional, so you could always go back and recheck, reiterate at this early stage in time, and to be easier because you've not done so much on this design. Then pre-visual usability testing. Low fidelity prototypes are excellent tools for conducting usability testing with real users. This helps gather crucial feedbacks on the product structure and interaction models, preventing costly design changes later. So there is something about low fidelity prototyping. You could actually test this with your users early in this early phase, because one thing about it is that you could finish this design, add all the colors, all the images, and then you test it with your users and you discover that it is not functional. So one thing that something that some designers do is that once they've done this low fidelity wireframe, they test it with their users to ensure that it is functional first. So once they have ensured that functionality has been effectively hit, that they've achieved premium functionality, they will now start adding the visual elements. And this just helps to save time and effort later on, because you could finish the design and then you start testing it with real users and you discover that it is not functional. Then you have to start afresh and start everything afresh. You start adding maybe even new images, new icons, and all of that. And sometimes it can be overwhelming. So it just helps you to test in the early stage with visual usability testing. So you test how usable it is in the early stage before the visual elements come in. So the core message of this entire class is that you focus in wireframing, we focus on the foundation, not on the finished product. We want to build foundation, we want to build the structure, not the this thing. So you could see this house. This house is a pure example of wireframing. There are no colors yet, there are no windows yet, or let's say there are spaces for windows. I don't know if you've seen all these uncompleted buildings when they are building a house or something. You'll see that there is no door, but they will create a space for the door. There is no window, but they will create a space for the window. There is no this one even has a roof, but sometimes there will be no roof, but they will just create a space for you, so you know that okay, a roof is going to come in here, a window is going to come in here, a door is going to come in here. But it's just like a skeletal version, it's just like a wireframe, so you just know where everything is going to be, but there are no visual elements yet. You would even see the house and you'll be like, ah, this house is, I've never seen any uncompleted building that is fine until they actually complete it, because no visual elements have actually come in yet. We are just seeing skeleton, we are just seeing wireframes. So that is the core message. Focus on the foundation, not on the finish when building a wireframe. So wireframes are fundamentally about distilling your ideas down to their essence, defining the functional flow, the underlying structure, and the interactive logic of your product. They are not about aesthetics, color palette, or pixel perfect polish. Prioritize clarity and functionality at this crucial early stage. So we have said this before. You're not looking for aesthetic. At this stage, you're not trying to make it fine. You're not trying to make your app look beautiful. You just want it to be clear and functional. So before we go on our hands-on class exercise, does anyone have any confusion down to this point? Do we all understand what a wireframe is? All right. Yeah, you can go on.
Please do. I don't know
Priscilla, you
how
can
we,
go on.
yeah. Good evening. I don't know how we moved from wireframing to low fidelity. Low fidelity.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wireframing, I'm sorry, I did not mention that. Wireframing is the general language. But wireframing, we have two different types of wireframing. We have low fidelity and high. We have three, but maybe for this level, you could just know two. But let me just say the three. We have low fidelity, mid fidelity, and high fidelity wireframing. So in low fidelity is this wireframing that I just taught. This one with the pen and paper and you trying to maybe do it digitally and all of that. But then for your stage, we'll just do low fidelity and high fidelity. So we'll consider classify this as low fidelity. High fidelity is when you bring in the colors, the icons, and all of those aesthetics. That is high fidelity. So now you've turned your low fidelity wireframe to a high fidelity wireframe by bringing in all of those things. It's still a wireframe, but now it is high fidelity because it now has extra elements that are making it more aesthetic or more appealing to the eyes. But some people would say there is mid fidelity, and mid fidelity wireframe is basically still this, but designers that say there is mid fidelity, they classify paper and pen as low fidelity. Then they classify when you bring it to the to your system or to your devices as mid fidelity. Then when you introduce colors as high fidelity. But that one can get complicated sometimes. But for this stage, I would just say you should focus on low fidelity and high fidelity. Low fidelity is anything that has no color. It has no extras. It is just a skeleton for now. Then high fidelity is when you've brought in all of these things. So I didn't include that in this slide, and I'm sorry, that's an oversight. But I hope you understand now. Low fidelity is the general skeletal wireframe. Then high fidelity is when you've brought in all these aesthetics to make it better. So does any other person have, all right, thank you. Does any other person have anything to say? Any question or contribution or something? Or you don't understand wireframing? Maybe you don't understand what we've spoken about so far. All right then. So I will just assume that we all understood. So let us go straight to Figma and start building our wireframe. Remember I said that we have the most we have the lowest type of wireframing. That's the one with pen and paper. We can't really describe that pen and paper wireframing right now because I mean we'll need like a physical class for that. But pen and paper is basically you sketching. That is it. Basically you're sketching. Okay, so let me quickly show us how to do a low fidelity wireframe on FigJam. If you don't want to use pen and paper, although pen and paper is actually good because it helps you to explore your creativity and it's pen and paper. But then if you don't want to use pen and paper, maybe you just want to use your system, you can just use your FigJam to do that. So you draw like a screen. Let's try to represent our phone screen. I think this looks like a phone. So let's say this is our phone screen, right? Now we want to build the home. Let's say we want to sketch out the home page for our food delivery app. So first of all, we need to know the navigation buttons. So let's mark this as a navigation button. You know, we had home page, then we had, I think, order, we had tracking. Remember when we were building our site map yesterday? Then we had profile or settings. So can you see how rough it is? We are just trying to like do a mini sketch. So we know that this is our navigation bar. These are the things that would always be at the bottom for our users to see. Then we know that maybe in the home page we want to maybe sometimes some people put the logo here. But if you don't want to put the logo, there is no problem. Some people don't put the logo. But sometimes you can like put a greeting message or something. Welcome back gifts, something like that. Then let's say we can put like a maybe notification icon here. This is just like you trying to explore your creativity. You can do several variations of this at the end of the day and pick the best one. Then maybe we want our users to be able to search. You can put maybe the search bar here. This is the search. This is the search icon. And then maybe we want on the home page, we want maybe menu of the day. All right, it's menu of the day. Then like a section showing the menu of today. So maybe we'll have like different kind of food. So can you see that we've done like a skeletal version of our homepage just by doing this? So now we know that we have 4 navigation buttons. We have the home page, we have the, is it order or menu, maybe order or menu page. We have the tracking page, we have the profile or setting page. So we have done like a skeletal version. Now we know that, okay, this is it. This is a skeletal version of our app. We've not added any color, we've not done anything. This is what basically what you do on paper. The reason why I'm using Figma to show you is because I really can't show you on paper right now, because I mean we have this communication barrier, so we have to use Figma. So basically, if you're using your paper, you will see how easy it is, because it's basically your pen and your paper. So if you don't like this, or maybe you want to explore others, you could just pick up another section or pick up another paper. That's if you're using paper. Sketch it like a phone. You want it to represent your phone. Then maybe in this one, I'm just trying to try out my ideas, to map out ideas at this early stage. I'm not really focusing on aesthetic. I just want to build a skeletal. I'm already designing at this point in time, but I'm trying to make it functional before I start making it beautiful. So now I could now what would I do now? Now maybe this one, now I just want to try something different. I want to put the logo this time around. I want to put the logo of the app, of the food app. So I'll just use this circle to represent logo. Of course, I still want my navigation bar to remain there, because navigation bar is always important on any mobile design. So we have 4. Sometimes it could be 5. Sometimes it could even be 6, depending on the functionality, on what you want. Basically, it's at your own discretion. What are the features that your app have, and how do you want them? How do you want your users to use them? You want them to have access to 6 global navigations or 5 global navigations? Because these global navigations are 4 or 5 or 6 basic things that your users need to see on every part of every page of your app. They are very important, so they need to be there at all times. Remember, I used WhatsApp as an example yesterday. I showed you the chat button, the status button, the chat page, the status page, and the call page, and all of that. And I said any page that you go to at any point in time, you would always see those buttons. You would always see those navigation. That's why we call them global navigation. So I want to explore something different in this one. So maybe I'll add the logo here. Then maybe I'll add my notification icon here. Then maybe now I want to put my search button before I put the welcome text. Welcome back. Welcome gifts, blah 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 blah. Then maybe this time around I want to see if I could like represent this food of today or today's special in a different way. So maybe rather than putting them in cards like this, I could try to what other way can I represent it? Let's say I want to represent them. Okay, or let's say I still want to represent them in cards, but I want to now divide them. Today's specials. So we have today's specials. But instead of maybe in rectangular form, I just want maybe to represent them as circles, or just make everything have their own different. Or let's do it this way to make the variation work. So today's Specials. Chris, are we still following what we are doing? Hello? Are we following the class? I hope it's not confusing. All right. Okay. So let's say we want to make this one different. So this one we put everything in different rectangles, then we put them in one general rectangles. But this time around, maybe we want to just leave them independent of each other. So we are just trying out a different way to represent it. So this is the picture of the food. This is the food, the description. Maybe this one will be like moi moi and beans. This one will be like rice and chicken. This one will be like bread and something. Then we have another one. Jollof rice, Nigerian jollof. Another one, Ghana jollof, something like that. So can you see that this is different from this? We are able to explore our creativity. We are able to try out different versions, different things. So at the end of the day, we'll now look for, okay, which one is working better? Me personally, I think I like this one best because this one is as much as possible. We want to ensure that our design is clean and minimal and all of that. Although you get to learn all of those things along the way, minimalistic design, clean functional design, all of those things, because at the end of the day less is more. But I feel like the other tutors will do justice to all of that at the end of the day. So you see that we have two different variations of our food app homepage, and that's because we are using pen and paper. We've not even started anything, but we already know how this homepage is going to look like, and we've not even started anything basically. So once you've done this, remember I said this is the low fidelity wire. This is the lowest type of wireframe you could do, that pen and paper version. Now you could now transform this to mid fidelity. I told you some designers call it mid fidelity, while some designers still classify it as low fidelity. But you would well, now let's use the mid fidelity grammar. You know, different people have their different ways of describing things. So there's industry standard, but I feel like sometimes but let's add okay, for this class let's call this low fidelity. Now let's move to mid fidelity. Let's look for how to transform this to a mid fidelity design. Please, did we all understand the low fidelity and did we all understand the low fidelity wireframing? Did we all understand what happened there? All right. Priscilla, okay, Ife, Ejiro, all right, that's beautiful. Thank you very much for following. So now let's transform this to mid fidelity. Mid fidelity, to transform this to mid fidelity, now we could go straight to this to Figma. So let's open a new design on Figma. If you want to open a new design on Figma, all you basically need to do is to press this new design. But if you want to go to FigJam, remember this low fidelity, we did it on FigJam because we did not have a biro and paper here. So we just had to do it on FigJam. But if you want to do it on biro and paper, it's way easier that way. So let's turn this to mid fidelity on Figma. So we'll click on new design and just allow it to wait for it to load. So do we all remember this interface?
Please,
How many of us have contact? Yes.
I'm not. You are still showing the low fidelity screen. Oh. I don't know how you
Oh, okay.
navigated
Okay. I'm
to.
so sorry. I'm coming. I duplicated my screen. I think this is it. Is this it? Okay, this is it. So are we saying? Can we see it?
Yes.
All right. So do we all remember this interface?
Yes. So.
Who has gone back to this interface since that day? All right. So let's explore. This is Figma interface. This is Figma basically. We have explored this interface before, but in case you've forgotten, these are our major tools. This one's below. Remember we said we have the move tool. That's this one for your icons. If you press this drop down, you have the hand tool, you have the scale tool. All of this. This one is to move Hand tool is basically to move your, just like to move your page using the hand. That's why I said we should go and explore it. Then we have scale tool. As the name implies, scale to zoom in and out. Then the next tool, we have the section tool. We could use it to like build a frame or a section or even a slice our page or something. Then we have the shape tool. We have rectangle, we have line, we have arrow, we have ellipse, polygon, star. We can place an image or a video. Then we have the pen tool or the pencil tool. Then we have the text tool, we have the comments tool. We did all of these things that day. If you've forgotten, maybe you can go back to the class or just try and error. Come here, try and error and do all these things yourself. Then we have plugins. Remember that day we imported plugins for my Conify and all of that. Then that's basically it. We have draw mode to Figma draw, but for now you don't really need this because Figma draw was brought in for people who want to use the illustrations, people who would want to like illustrate more, because Figma is trying to be like a global enterprise where it's not just UI designers that use it now. Now they want to like introduce a platform where even illustrators, graphic designers, anybody can use it. So this Figma draw is very important for them, but not so important for us as UI UX designers. But sometimes it could be good because it will help you to just explore your creativity and try something different. Then we have developer mode. I told you that this one is mostly developers that use it. I really don't know anything about it. I've not even really tried to explore it. But one thing about this developer mode is that if your developer comes into your design and wants to see how you did your design, the paddings you used, the grid system, everything that was done in design and how they were done, you could use this developer mode and to just like break everything down and you'd see it and know exactly. And basically the front end designer the front end developer needs this actually, because it just helps you to see what the person did in the design. You could explore that if you're interested in that aspect, but for now let us turn our low fidelity to a mid fidelity. So the first thing you do is to bring in a frame. I don't know if you remember, but you could come here and click on frame, or if you don't want to use this method, you could just on your keyboard just press F. F is shortcut for frame. So you could come through this method, click here and click on frame, or just press F on your keyboard. That's the shortcut for frame. So once you've clicked on frame, you'll see that this thing has changed. Now we're having different types. We're having Android compact, Android medium, iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro Max, iPhone 14 and 15, iPhone 13 and 14, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone blah blah blah. We have tablets, we have desktop, we have presentation, we have watch, depending on whatever it is that you want to design for. Remember I said that sometimes you might want to use tablets. Like maybe you want to design for children or something, for toddlers, you might want to use tablets because you know that basically it's tablets that they will use for all of these games and all of these things. And maybe you want to design some things and you know that, okay, your users would most likely use desktop. You can use desktop frame. And sometimes you can even design for all of them. There's something called responsive design. Responsive design is basically your users able to use your products anywhere. They can use it on their mobile, they can use it on their tablet devices, they can use it on their desktop devices, anywhere at all. It's responsive, it's response. So if you want to do responsive design, you make sure you design for every single type of frame out there. But for now, let's say we are a startup, our food app is just the 10 of us, I mean the 8 of us in this class that we are the team. So we want to start small, and basically we want it to be a phone version first, because first of all you need to consider accessibility. If we start with a desktop version, would our users be able to come home from a long day of work and then start opening their system to start ordering for food app? So let's start small. Let's start with a phone. We know that mobile phone, and you can go anywhere with your phone and you can order anytime, at any point with your phone. So you know that there is no limitation with your phone. So let's start with phone design for now. Then maybe when we want to upscale, we'll now do desktop design. Desktop design is basically you trying to represent the design on your phone to make sure it fits into the desktop frame, because at the end of the day, a phone frame is bigger than a desktop frame. So I'll be using iPhone 13 mini because that's like my favorite. Most people's favorite is basically. A lot of people like using iPhone 13 mini. I don't know why. So let us use iPhone 13 mini. So now we want to transform, remember we want to transform this our low fidelity into a mid fidelity. Let's just copy it and bring it into Figma. So I just did copy and paste basically. Remember that I said we are going to use this one because I personally like this one better. This one looks too jam-packed and this one looks more clean and minimalistic. Or should I ask for our ideas? Which one do we prefer? Okay, we can't see that screen. Let's just work with this one. Let's work with this one. So let's start turning this into mid fidelity. Now this is low fidelity. We just have pen, we just have sketch, it's just like a rough sketch. Now to turn this into mid fidelity, we basically want to make it real. So first of all, we have welcome back gift seeker. This is a text. So we'll pick the text tool. This is this T. You could just use, you could press T on your keyboard, that's the shortcut, or you could pick the text tool and then bring it in. So welcome back gifts. Sometimes you want to just do this to like make your users feel welcome to your app. There's something called grid system and auto layouting and all of that to just, or let me just touch a little bit of it so that when the next tutor comes in, we will not really be confused. So one thing about designing is that you would notice, I want us to pick up our phones if we can, if we are accessing it right now, and open our WhatsApp or open any app on your phone at all. I don't know if you would notice that there are some spaces by the side. Please, are we there? Are we picked up? Are we opened any app on our phones? You'd notice that there are some spaces by the left-hand side and the right-hand side. The text are not really touching the edge of your screen. Are we saying it?
Yes.
So we can see that I opened WhatsApp, for example. We can see that the WhatsApp text, the first thing you see when you open WhatsApp, from the top to the bottom, you see WhatsApp, you see the text WhatsApp there. You see that the WhatsApp text is not touching the edge of your phone. There is a space. There's like a little space. Can we see it by the side? Yes, both left and right. So that is what we do in design. We ensure that the anything that we are doing is not touching the edge of your phone. There's always like a grid to show you that okay, this is where it is, and we are going to follow that grid all through to make sure that everything aligns in the design. Because if you look at WhatsApp, you see that WhatsApp is on the same line with this search bar. This search bar is on the same line with these other buttons, all on red and all of that. This, you see that it's straight. No one is more forward or more protruding than the other. All of them are just aligning on the same line. Can we all see what I'm saying? All right, Priscilla is the only one answering. Please, are we all seeing what I'm saying? Because this is actually important. The other tutor we also, I believe the other tutor too will touch this, because this is not actually my part, but for the purpose of this mid fidelity, I just want to build like a background knowledge. So the designs are not touching the edge of our screen. There's a little space, and every other thing that is coming below it is following that same line. So let's move to it. Maybe when we start, we'll understand better. So now we want to build something like that here. It's called a grid system. Some people use auto layout for that, but auto layout is another ball game on its own, which the other tutor would go over. But for now, let us use grid. So once you click on your frame, on this nav bar by the right hand side, you would see something called layout guide. So you see this plus. Once you hover around it, you'll see add layout guide. If you click on it, it will bring up this. So now you can now add your grid. Most times we use columns. Some people use both columns and rows and all of that. So if I click on columns, I will see counts. The count here is 5, but you can change it to 8. There is like a standard system that people use for both Android and mobile. Sorry, Android and iPhone. Then the margin, you can use 16. The gutter, you can use, the margin is just the distance between. You could see that as I'm changing this is changing. If I change my margin back to 0, you'll see that there is no, everything is by the everything is at the edge. This pink stuff is at the edge. So if I want to add that space that we saw as we picked up our devices, as we opened our app, those apps that I said we should open. Remember I said there are spaces by the left hand side and by the right hand side. So if we want to add that, we have to add this margin. And most times a lot of people use 16. It depends on what you're designing for. Basically, some people use 24. I think some Android devices use 24, but I like to use 16. But there's a conventional scale system which the other tutor would share later on. So you could see that I added 16, and now there are spaces by the side, showing you that nothing is going to touch. See, from this line to this line, nothing is going to touch it. So these are our own spaces. The way WhatsApp did their own, these are our own spaces. So we'll see that we have these spaces on both the left and the right hand side. So nothing is going to touch these 2 spaces. Then we have the gutter. The gutter is basically the distance between this. I can leave it as 20, but let's use 24 and see. See, it reduces. So the more the gutter, you're just trying to like restrain it or constrain it, depending on what you want to do. But I'll use 24 for now. Remember that the other tutor is coming to do all of this, but let's just explore this. Some people also add rows sometimes. So you click on add, then you click on this drop down and click on rows. So the count for rows, like to use 1000 just to make it plenty. Then the type, we want to use top to bottom. The height, you can use 8. Then the offsets, remember that we also don't want our design to be touching the top of the screen. We want it to come down a little bit. So some people sometimes they use 8 for the offset. Then the gutter, let's say 8 too. There is a standard measurement for this, but you could work with whatever it is that you want to work with, depending on what you want to do.
Sorry, Miss Gift. I don't know if I'm the only one. What I'm seeing on the screen is column, count, color, type, width, margin. Then gutter.
Yes.
So where are you seeing these other things you are mentioning from?
Can you see what I'm seeing right now? This one's count, color, type, width, margins, gutter.
Yes.
Are you seeing it?
Yes.
All right. That's what I'm doing. The count, I made it 8. The color,
Okay.
I didn't change the color because I don't really care about the color. But some people, you can change the color if you like. You can make it blue. You can make whatever color that you want. Then the type, because I was building columns, I just left it to stretch. But you notice that when I was building rows, I think this is 0. Yeah. What did I do? So when I was building rows, I changed the type from stretch to top to bottom. That's, I just clicked on top because I want it to count from the top to the bottom. Don't worry, you don't really need to understand to get this part right now, because there'll be a special class. There'll be a class dedicated for this. I don't know if you understand.
Okay.
Yes, there'll be a class dedicated for this. I'm just doing this for now because I want to change this low fidelity to mid fidelity, and I don't want to do it without you guys knowing what I'm doing. So if you can grab it now, it's good. But if you can't grab it now, you can grab it when the class comes up. So yeah, offset. Let me use 40 for this offset. Offset is basically what you're not going to touch. That's the point of the design. Remember, if you open, I told you, if you open your app, any app that you opened the previous time, for me, I opened WhatsApp. you discover that from the top to the bottom there is space, because every phone has, your phone has time, your phone has battery bar, your phone has um what's the name of this thing, network bar. All these things are default, they come with your phone. So if you are building an app or if you are designing an app, you have to make sure that you create a space for these things. Don't make your design to touch the edge of the screen. That is this point. If your design is touching this point, you're already started making a mistake, because where will all these other things come into? So that is why we do the offsets. There'll be a dedicated class for this, but that is why we do the offsets, because there's always a battery. If you check your phone, if you open your phone, you see that your battery bar is anywhere. Any app you open on your phone, your battery bar will always show. Your network bar will always show. If you are using if you're using maybe SIM 1 and SIM 2, two SIMs, you'd see one SIM here, you see another SIM here. Then maybe you see your time, the time um that is currently set. You'd see other things here. So that is why we leave this space before we start adding things. So now we've successfully built our grid system. This grid system is just to help you to know where to design, where to put your items, and where not to put your items. So that's why we are doing this. So now let's replicate. Let's go back to turning our low fidelity wireframe into mid fidelity. So remember, we have a text, welcome back gifts. We've already typed that text. So let's bring it in. So if I place this here, if I place this text here, am I correct? Have I done the right thing? Please, I need someone
No,
to
no, I don't
respond.
think so. It's
Exactly.
in the space that we are supposed to leave.
Yes. That is why we left those spaces that we left, because it's going to guide where we'll place things. So see where we place this. Is this correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Exactly. So we left this space and we left this space. That is why we built those grids that we built. So this is directly ending where this line ended. Figma has this stuff where things just automatically click into grids. So once you have this grid, you just discover that your text and everything is clicking automatically. So welcome back gifts. Then we, what was this for, Seth? I think this was for notification icon. So we can just use a frame to represent that, or we can use a shape. But I love to use frame for anything I'm doing. I really love to use frame, but you can use a shape. So let's just use a frame. It's transparent, so there is no color. So let's just add a color. We'll go to fill, we'll click on add, and then we'll just add a color. I like to use black and white. Most people like to use black and white when doing low fidelity, because at this point in time, you want everything to be, you're not looking for aesthetic. You're not really using most any color. You're just doing black and white. So I'm going to make this to snap to the line. So this is our notification button, our notification icon. I'm going to change the aspect ratio to 16 to make it smaller. Then the next thing is our search bar. So let us do a frame. This frame will represent our search bar. There's something called column system. 8-point grid. We have 8-point grid system. We have 12-point grid system. We have 4-point grid system. You would definitely be taught all of this along the class, and I assure you you would understand them. But there's, okay, let's just freestyle it for now. There's no need for all of that for now. So we want to draw our search bar. This is our search bar. Let's make it smaller. And maybe we want to write something like, let me duplicate this. Yeah, if I see it, I'll just change the color so it can show. Not showing. Okay. So let's change it to search. Search for food, or search by name, or menu. Let's change it back to black. Okay, it's not showing. Then once we put the search icon, so we can just duplicate this and bring it in. This is search icon. Let me change the color so it shows. It's showing. Not really. So let's change it to something else that would show. Another color that would show in this black. How do you see that person is really Yes, really. Okay, no wonder. Bring to front. Because at the back, so I have to bring it to the front so it can show. Let me use it. Let me use something related to gray. Because I like to use black and white for wireframing. I don't want to introduce any color. I don't want to focus on. I don't want to even know whether it's fine or not. Then the next thing was, what was this? Menu of the day. So let's duplicate this and bring it in. Menu of the day. Now we have like a rectangle. You can duplicate this. Can you see how everything is just clicking into grids? We're just making everything click into grids. And that's the beauty of adding grids into your design. Everything just clicks like this, just clicking, just moving, just snapping, like sniping into the boxes. So although there's an easier way to do all of this, and it's called auto layouts, but you would learn auto layout later in this class. And auto layouts will take your design game from like 0 to hero. So I want to create all these small boxes. Let me change the color. Bring to the front, please my shoot. Then change the color. Make it so you notice that I'm not putting things at the edge. I'm still observing, trying to observe this my grid system. The grid system is still helping me to work effectively. Let me reduce the size of this so I can duplicate this. And still duplicate this. Then I can highlight everything. Now this is too close to the edge. Let me bring it inside a little. So you can see dimensions in Figma. If you want to see the dimension, hold Alt on your keyboard. Then, okay, you can click on a frame. For example, I've clicked on this frame. Now I want to see the distance between this frame and this frame. I would hold Alt on my keyboard and then hover around this frame. See, it's showing me that it's 11 pixels. 11 pixels simply means that there are 11 boxes. If I zoom in, you can actually see the boxes. So if we count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See that it's correct. It's showing us that there are 11 boxes. The gap between this and this is 11 boxes. And we use pixels for that, 11 pixels. So you could also click on this and just hover around the next one. It's showing you that the distance between this is 12 pixels. So we can work with this. So let's say we want to display 6 menus at a time. Just increase this. So this is the menu of the day. Then we've not even built our navigation bar, so we can do that. This should even be the first thing that you do. But it doesn't really matter, but it's always good to build your navigation bar first. So I will leave some space from the bottom because I don't want things touching the bottom too so much. I don't want everything to be snapping to. If you check your phone, you would know that, I don't know if, well, most phones have it. There's like a back button here, a home button here, then another button here. Sometimes if it's an iPhone, you'd see like a line, yeah, showing you general navigation or something. So your phone automatically comes with its own nav bar or its own nav button. So always leave a space for that. So let's take it up a little. So now I want to add this global navigations here. You can still represent that with rectangles. Sorry about that. So now I've duplicated this. I want to change the size, make it maybe 32. So this is the first one. Please, are we still following? Please, are we still following the class? Hello?
I'm following somehow. I'll watch
Okay,
the video later.
I understand. Don't worry, you cannot really get everything yet today, but this is just basically me trying to turn this low fidelity into mid fidelity, something that we can use. So it's basically what we sketched out here that I'm now creating. You could see the welcome message. That's exactly what I did here. Notification icon. That's exactly what I did here. Search bar and search icon. That's exactly what I did here. Menu of the day. That's exactly what I did here. Then a box showing the menu. Can even make this menu more safe. A box showing the menu, showing all the menu of the day. That's exactly what I did here. Then our nav bar. That's what I'm doing right now. So basically, it's just turning our low fidelity to mid fidelity. That's just what I'm doing right now. So I'm not really doing anything strange. It's just what we sketched out. Remember this stuff that we sketched out? That's basically what I'm doing. As much as possible, we want to maintain consistency in our design. So we'll try to like make the gap between everything the same. Somebody will still come and talk about that whole consistency thing, but you discover that I made everything the same. The gap between this box and this box is 20. that's 20 pixels. The gap between, or the distance between this box and this box is also 20 pixels. And the distance between this box and this box is also 20 pixels. It just makes your design neat. It makes everything easy and just neat, presentable. When everything is the same, when there's consistency in your design. So let's go back to building our nav bar. This nav bar, let's say this is home. Thought I duplicated it. Okay, maybe I did not. So let's duplicate it again and bring it here. So let's make this home, just to show that this is our home page. Can add distance between this and this. Don't worry, you might not get everything today. Don't even fret at all, because someone will still come and do all of these things with you guys. So can duplicate this and do, let's say, the next one was menu. Let's say menu. And we can also still duplicate this. As much as possible to make it snap. Can make this one further. Then we can make this profile. Navigation bars. We want it to spread evenly across this box. So I'll just like adjust the distances. There's an easy way to do it, and it's called auto layouts. Well, auto layouts, teaching auto layouts right now would be chaos, because auto layouts can be quite confusing, but you would learn that later on in the class along the way. I just want to make the distance the same. Let's see, 48. $56 and 48. Let's move this. I can be quite a perfectionist in design. So now I think the distances are the same. So now we've successfully represented our low fidelity wireframe. We've made it mid fidelity. So you could see that it's basically what we did here, But now this is more, this was more like a sketch. This is more like on Figma. This is more like a design now. So basically that is it. We've wireframed our design. You could see that we didn't add any colors, we didn't do anything. We just transformed our low fidelity to mid fidelity. So So let me turn off this grid. You can turn off your grid. If you want to turn off your grid, just click on the frame, then come to this nav bar here or sidebar here, and you see this eye icon. Just click on it to turn it off. So now we can see our this thing is coming up a little. I don't like the way this one is, so let's move it up a little. Just do it this way to not stress me. So yeah. So I think we are done. Let me shape this a little. You don't really want things to be touching the edge because it doesn't really look good that way. So we have successfully represented our low fidelity as mid fidelity. Can we see there are no colors, there are no typography, there are no icons yet. It's just basically boxes and text. We're just representing things with boxes and text. Some designers said don't even write text because sometimes you will not even know the text that you want to put yet. You just know that you want something to be there. You don't know, maybe you want to put menu of the day or you want to put today's specials or something. So some people, rather than even writing text, they will still use rectangles to represent this. Instead of writing text, yeah, they'll just use like a slim rectangle. Just to show that, okay, this is where a text should be. So it all depends on what you're doing. So now I've replaced that text with a slim rectangle just to show that this is going to be a text, but I don't know what text is going there yet. So I'm just going to represent it with a rectangle for now. So it depends on, it's just at your own discretion at the end of the day. So can we see the design? It's already coming up. We already have, we can increase the font size of this. We can maybe make it a little bit bigger. Too big. 16 is okay. So can we see how we turned our low fidelity to mid fidelity? Are we still here or we are lost?
I'm here. I'm lost. I'm here. I will watch
Hello?
it later.
Okay. Did we understand the process? Okay. Please, I'll need response from other people. Was it making sense?
We're very lost, but we are here.
Okay, let me just quickly do a quick overview. So we sketched out our skeleton. Yeah, this is our low fidelity design. We sketched it out. Remember, we said we want like a welcome message, then maybe a notification icon, and maybe a search bar, something today's special or menu of the day, then a box showing the menus, then a nav bar, and all of that. So we said we wanted all of that. Now we want to turn it to mid fidelity wireframing. That is why we came on Figma. So when we came to Figma, we started representing all these things with real things because we cannot present this to the developers. Developers cannot work with this. This is what they work with. So this welcome back gifts, we just transformed it into a text by using our text tool here. See it here. I told you could use the shortcut, which is just press T on your keyboard. Once you click on it, you'll see it. Then you type welcome back gift. Then to represent this icon, we don't want to really add icons right now. We are just trying to still make it's still a wireframe at the end of the day. So we can represent it with just a box, a rectangle or something. So that is why we drew a rectangle. I used a frame, but you can use a rectangle. Just use anything you want. We drew it, yeah, just to show that there is an icon here. Because rectangles are basically represented using a small, icons are basically represented using a small rectangle. Then we said we wanted like a search bar here where people can search for maybe their food or their menu or something. That's the same thing we created here. We just created the search bar. and then we like type a text so people will know that they can search. Then this is the icon for search bar. And remember we said menu of the day. This is the heading. That is what we did here. We typed it here, menu of the day. Then remember we said that we can represent the menus. Let's say this one will be like moi moi and beans. This one will be like akara and dodo. This one will be like rice and stew. This one will be like jollof, party jollof, something like that. That's exactly what we did here. We represented them using boxes. We will still bring in all these images later. Maybe later on, these boxes will have the images of the food. And maybe we'll have mini text beneath it showing that, okay, this is moi moi and dodo. We can even do that self right now. Then this is rice and beans. But since it's wireframing, you don't really know what you're going to put in all of these places, but you could just represent it with text, with any text, any random text for now. So you could just put the description of the food, rice and beans. The next one, yam and egg sauce. Can reduce this. Let's make it 10. So basically, we are just trying to turn our low fidelity into mid fidelity wireframing. That is exactly what we are doing here. So once we are done with that, remember our global navigation, those navigations that you want your users to see at any point that they are on the app. Remember we used WhatsApp as an example yesterday. We said we have navigations that are below, that anywhere you go to at all on WhatsApp, you would see them. So we want to create this global navigation, and that's what we did here. Home, menu, order, and profile. All we basically did was use rectangles and text to represent them. So we've not added icons, we've not added images, nothing yet. That's why it is mid fidelity design. So we can even change this to high fidelity. Should we change it to high fidelity right now so we can see? Oh yeah, our head is full. Please, are we still here?
We are here. Oh.
Hello.
We are here. Oh,
Hello.
I'm here. I'm following. Even though I'm lost, but I'm following.
Okay. So let's go ahead and change this to high fidelity very quickly. So we have here low fidelity wireframing. We have mid fidelity wireframe. Please, as much as possible, just try to touch things on Figma. Try to do things on Figma so that you could get familiar with the UI. Because there's this thing this distance learning does to someone. You will not really be able to show the person what you're doing in real time. The person can only just follow, and sometimes you think you're following, but you're not really getting everything until you do try and error. You click on things, you try to draw a rectangle, doesn't work, use drag and drop, you just do things on your own. So as much as possible, please, let's just try. So now I want to start adding icons. Want to turn it to high fidelity. Remember Iconify? I think we explored and Iconify the other day. So we can search for notification bell, because the first icon here is the notification icon. So let's start with the first icon. There are different variations. You can just pick any one you want. Let's pick this one. This one is looking fine. There's something about choosing icon. If you discover that there are different kinds of icons. There are stroked icons and there are filled icons. If you are using stroked icons, please, can we still hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So if you're using stroked icons, make sure that you use, I don't know if you can really see this, but the difference between this and this one has like a color inside. It's called a filled icon. This one has like an outline. It's called a stroked icon. Although there is a special class dedicated to this, there's a class dedicated to this alone, so you still learn it. But for now, let me use this stroked icon. So I've picked it up. Then I want to use it. I want to replace it with this. So I'll just cut it. Cut is Ctrl X on your keyboard. I think that's everybody should know that. Then I'll just click on where I want to replace it, and then you see paste to replace. I'll click on paste to replace. See that it has replaced that rectangle with the icon. Now the next icon here is search. So I'll search for my search button or search icon. I can pick anyone, but remember we've already started with a stroked icon. We want to just continue with stroked icon. So make sure any icon you are picking is a stroked icon. I really like this icon, so I'll just click on it and import as frame. So the thing with importing as frame is that it will import and go and drop anywhere on the screen. So sometimes what I just do is I click on it and I drag it in. I drag it into my workspace or whatever works for you do. So I will cut it by clicking on Ctrl X. Then I will now come and click on this box here. Then right click and paste to replace. Paste to replace meaning you are replacing this with whatever it is that you copied or you pasted or you cut. So whatever it is that you cut or you copied. So paste to replace. I've replaced it now. So you can see that now I have an icon. Can you see how we are turning this mid fidelity now to high fidelity? Now we can now add like maybe a color to this, because I mean we want it to be visually appealing. We don't really want to use let's use blue. Let's say our brand color, the brand color for the app is blue. So let's use blue. So there's something called contrast. The contrast between this blue and these colors, these text colors are too dull. Everybody, it's not many people that would be able to see it. So white works better with blue. So we'll just change this to white. So can we see that it's more visible? Now we can even change the appearance. If you can leave it, it's not really necessary for now. Then which other icon do we have here? Okay, we have home icon. We search for home. Remember, we are still using outlined icons because we started with that. So just pick the one you want. I think I like this one. I'll just drag it in. You can either import as frame or drag it in, but I like to drag it in. Ctrl X to cut. Select the rectangle. Then right click, paste to replace. Then we have the next icon, menu. What can we use to represent menu? This menu now we are looking at it as like food menu. So we don't want to use this general menu because it can be misleading. This menu is like to see more or something. I don't really want to work with that menu. Let me see if I will see something like that. Let me use food to represent this menu icon. This looks nice. Let's use this fork and knife. So Ctrl X, then paste to replace. To change the size, if you are using an icon, make sure that the sizes are the same. If you are, look at this icon, the size is 24. Is by this, can you see the size here by the sidebar? So you want to make sure that every other icon is having the same size. So one icon does not appear bigger than the other. Remember I said something about consistency in design. All of these things you would learn them later in class. There are dedicated classes for all of these things. So this is just like a brief introduction. So don't be worried if you don't get everything. you don't get everything in today's class. Sorry, this is not order. This is supposed to be tracking. If you don't get everything in today's class, because you would still go, they would still do all of these things as dedicated classes with you guys. The takeaway from today's class is just to know how to do wireframing, know how to do mid fidelity, low fidelity, high fidelity wireframing, and that is it basically.
So,
You see
Miss
how I'm
Gift,
changing my set?
can
Yes.
you hear me, please? This your
Yes, I
method of
can.
this your method of pasting these icons. You first of all
Yes.
drag to the workspace, then you do Control X,
Yes.
then you replace to
Yes.
replace. Okay.
Yes.
So you cannot
That's
just
what I'm
drag and
doing.
just move it to wherever you want it to directly.
No, not
You have to.
really. You can't really do that. Yes.
Okay.
You can't really do that.
Okay.
Although there are shortcuts, like paste to replace, the shortcut is Control Shift R. So if you don't want to be right clicking and replacing all the time, you can just click on Control Shift R on your keyboard. But I don't like to teach newbies with shortcuts so early enough. So there's something called consistency when you are bringing in icons and bringing in certain things into your design. Like I said before, if you are using stroked icons, try as much as possible to use stroked icons. But you can see that some icons look thicker than some. Like this one, the outline looks thicker than the outline of this one. Let me not do this today. Someone else will come for that. But the most important thing is that we've replaced this with icons. So we can change the color. Can make this maybe white. Then we can, because for high fidelity now we are adding colors. Oh, let's not make it. Let's make it. So remember, black on blue is not a very good contrast. So I'm just trying to change this to white. So now we have our menu of the day. We want to insert food into this. We can just, there are different ways to, there are different plugins for pictures. Some people use Unsplash. It depends on what you're looking for, and if one does not give you if one does not give you what you're looking for, you can go to others. But for this class, someone else would go and would show you where to get images, icons, and all of that. But for this class, I would just use pixels. So just wait for it to load. The network is it's not really strong. If not, it doesn't take so long. So you can see low fidelity, mid fidelity, high fidelity. Having high fidelity is having colors, icons, and it's just looking more beautiful. Unlike mid fidelity that just looks basic. So I don't know why it's not loading.
Can you see me? You can't see me. It's dark. I see my.
That loads the right plugin. And let's use Unsplash. It's like I did not load the right plugin. Busy.
Let us say I eat your food. So how was it?
So we can just search for food.
I just looked and I closed around.
Sorry, that pixels that I wanted to load, the spelling is pexels, Pexels, not pixels. That is why it gave us that one. The correct spelling is pexels. So if I want to insert this food, I can just click on the boxes. Anything, any food I want to insert in, just click on the boxes to insert it for us. If you are looking for specific food, you can search for the specific food you are looking for.
Like I went to visit them and I kind of
I'm just randomly adding food to these boxes. You can even change this color. I can use this blue. But it's too much. Let's reduce it. Or we can even do it this way. We can reduce the lightness by, this is not my part, but if you understand, but there's a way you reduce the lightness of a color. Just click the drop down, you would see HSL. HSL means, I can't remember. But if you click on HSL, you would see the hue, you see the saturation, and you see the lightness. So you can reduce the lightness to just reduce the color for you. It's the same hue, it's the same saturation, but just different shade, different lightness. So can we see how we've transformed this low fidelity to our high fidelity, having more colors, having more feel, looking more appealing. You can do more with this, but we are just rushing for the purpose of this class. We are just doing this, but you can do more. There are a lot you can do. Just explore your creativity, use more colors, do all of that. So basically we have done, we are done. So does anybody have any question? I know we have a lot of questions because I somehow had to do other things that are not relating to wireframing. We had to like explore the interface of Figma and do other things, but you don't need to get everything today. You don't need to grab everything today. You would still get them along the way in this class, in this journey that you are on. You would still grab every single thing that you need to grab. But the important takeaway of today's class is you know how to do low fidelity wireframing, you know how to do mid fidelity wireframing, and maybe you know how to convert this mid fidelity to high fidelity just by replacing these boxes and this thing with actual icons and images. So does anyone have any question, any contribution, any confusion? Have I succeeded in confusing us?
Yes, you succeeded in a way, but some of us will have to go back to the video later.
Yes.
So please, so everyone,
I
I
do
dropped the
understand it better
agenda
though.
on the chat box again. For those that joined, you can go ahead and thank you.
All right, thank you. Ifeoluwa, you were saying something.
No, I said I understand it better.
Oh, you understood it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
thank
clearer
God,
now.
oh. Thank God.
It's
Thank
clear
God.
now.
Please, who else understood so that I can be happy?
If Oluwa is a designer now, right?
Oh,
Oh,
No, I'm
glorious
not.
one.
Oh, this is also a first
Yeah.
time for me.
Okay, we will join you people in the understanding later.
I think Glory too. Glory, I think Glory understood. Ejiro too understood. Ah, okay, oh, thank God.
Okay, so it's only me that is not so understanding it. Well, I will join you people.
And Favor and Abubakar, did you guys understand? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
All
We
right.
are
Favor
following.
understood. Eh?
I think we following. So with time we understand better.
Okay, all right. So it's Abubakar and Priscilla. So I'll be expecting you guys feedback. Once you understand, just let me know. And if you don't understand, my DM is always open. You can always come to my DM and ask me, and I would respond to you. So yeah, I think we are done with
Okay.
today's class. So thank you so much. I'm sorry I took so much of your time. We're supposed to end this class by 7, but this is to 8. I'm so sorry and I apologize for that. So today is my last session with you people, and I am glad that I was able to embark on this journey with you, introducing you guys to the wonderful world of UI UX. Don't worry, you're going to enjoy it. This initial this initial phase is just it will show itself, but you guys will conquer. So thank you so
So
much for
thank
having me.
you for
Thank
your
you for
time.
giving me your
We
attention.
believe,
Thank you so much.
I believe that your DM will always be open to questions,
Yes,
and
my DM is
you
always open to
definitely
questions.
will not hesitate to entertain questions as well.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you
much.
so much, Miss Gift, for trying to make our time again today to complete our session with you. We appreciate it. I'm sure all of us will miss hearing your voice. Okay, for next. Anyway, we are still together now. This your DM is
Yes,
always open.
yeah, my DM is always open.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me your maximum attention. And I enjoyed these 4 weeks that I spent with you guys. I don't want to get emotional, so I'm not going to cry. But we will see at the top. We would see at the top. Thank you so much. Thank you. So with this, we have come to the end of today's class, and I hope you've been able to learn something. So thank you guys for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Abubakar. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Ejiro. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Ife. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, David. I think there's David. Who else? Missing someone.
Thank you, man.
Anthony, there's Anthony.
Anthony, great. Yes.
There's Peace.
Yeah. There's
There's
peace
Vivian.
attached.
I think they could not join today.
Yeah. Thank you for if maybe they would watch this later, but thank you. And any other person that I did not mention, thank you so much. So see you guys at the top. Good night and
Bye.
enjoy the
Good
rest
night.
of it.
Thank you so much.
Bye
Good night.
Bye.
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 Good night.